Okay, here we are, Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press, here at the Southern District of New York Courthouse. Today, Wednesday, February 12th, 2025. Now, we continue to wait for the actual motion to dismiss the indictment against Eric Adams. It was the Emile Beauvais memo is out, but there's still nothing filed by the prosecutors. Of course, it probably will happen. We were there yesterday in 40 Foley, waiting. We actually went and checked out Judge Dale Ho's courtroom, stood outside it. It's locked on the 9th floor. Why were we there? Well, we'll turn this to another actual thing that happened yesterday. There was the summary judgment motion in a long-standing 5-year and counting lawsuit in which Eckhart versus Fox News and Ed Henry. It got pretty graphic because this is summary judgment stage. The question is, basically they were saying, like, even if true, it doesn't make out a claim. That's what the Ed Henry and Fox people. The Fox said also, we didn't know just because we sent him to some kind of sex abuse training, rehab with a doctor. Didn't mean that we knew he would harass somebody. Anyway, you can find the whole thread, and we'll follow that one through. But in more serious news, deadly news, a case we've been following for some time of Daniel Sikkema. He was charged with passport fraud, but really he was impliedly charged with having arranged the murder of his husband, Sikkema, who ran an art gallery by the High Line here in New York, was killed down in Brazil. Well, yesterday they superseded, and he's now charged with murder for hire. But what was interesting, and what wasn't otherwise reported, I don't think, I was in the Mad Court when Sikkema was arraigned or presented on the murder for hire charges. Apparently, they had lured him in because he was out on bail, because it was only a passport fraud case. They told him that his GPS bracelet might be having a problem charging, and they wanted him to come in and check it out. And when he came in, they arrested him on murder charges, and now he's in the MDC. He's going to be in the MDC, I think, until trial, because when you're charged with murder for hire, that's what happens. What more can we say? Blake Lively, we are covering that. It turns out the Justin Baldoni people will consent to pushing back the deadline for her amended complaint to March 5, but they took a little pot shot at them for this guy Jed Wallace in Texas, saying of course he sued her because she was trying to subpoena him. So it goes. Now we're covering the various executive orders, including the one about entry into the Treasury Department. Yesterday, the order was modified to make it clear that Scott Bessent and some other political appointees can go in, but it's pretty much clear that the DOGErs cannot, according to this order by Judge Engelmeyer, as modified by Judge Vargas. Judge Vargas will be having a hearing Friday at 2, and we will definitely be covering that one, hopefully with live coverage. But she has a series of questions that we put out that she's asked the parties to address about whether there should be an evidentiary hearing, about whether there should be an amended complaint. And it basically makes me believe that unless the TRO is somehow removed, that this Treasury standoff is going to go for a while, because once you get into that kind of a level of detail in a case, it's not moving fast anytime soon. So we're in it. We'll be watching it. Inner City, the UN, of course, we continue to cover. We have a new scoop on the International Telegraphic Union. Yes, it's a part of the UN system, older than the UN itself, and again, full of corruption and retaliation. We publish the things. The UN refuses to answer questions, but we will not cease, and we've applied to re-enter, and that is a litmus test for the First Amendment and related principles of freedom of speech, freedom of the press. To be continued, Inner City Press.